So it tells us here that the atomic number of magnesium is 12. What is the electron configuration of this Mg2 plus ion? So to do this, if we remind ourselves, if this atomic number is 12, that means it's also going to have 12 electrons. If it's got 12 electrons, they're going to be arranged as 282. 282 is not stable, so what it's going to try and do is lose those two. If it loses those two, it will then become this magnesium 2 plus ion. So what we have to do in here is say that it's going to have 28 left, which is going to be option B. Next one, explain why magnesium carbonate cannot conduct, but solid magnesium can. So what we say here is the solid form. It is an ionic lattice, and that means that the ions are not free to move. Okay, where we go to the metal, the magnesium, in this situation, it contains the localized electrons which are free to move. Marks wise, there's 3 marks in there. So to get the marks here, you're going to get a mark for that one, a mark for that statement, and a mark for that statement. Okay, next one. It wants us to calculate the percentage mass of magnesium in this magnesium carbonate. So, percentage mass of magnesium, we want to know how much magnesium is in here. So magnesium, there's only one of them, and one of them has a mass of 24. So 24 is the value for that. We then need to work out the mass of this whole formula. So I'm going to do that over here. In that whole formula, we've got a magnesium, and there's one of them, and therefore it's 24 times 1, which is 24. There's a carbon in there times by 1. Carbon's mass is 12 times 1 is 12, and there's an oxygen in there, and there's 3 of them. Oxygen is 16 times 3 is 48. We add them all up, that's going to give us 84 as an answer. So I've got 24 divided by 84, and then I multiply that whole thing by 100, and when I do that, that is giving me an answer of 29%. Mark-wise, there are 3 marks. So if you got 24 divided by 84, you get a mark. If you worked out the mass is 84, you get another mark. And then you get a mark for your final answer. Okay, next one is a 6 marker. Again, read the information carefully. They want us to describe the student add dispatcher of magnesium carbonate to the acid and then some magnesium. So there's kind of 2 things here. We're dealing with magnesium carbonate reaction and the magnesium reaction. Explain what the student would see. So what are they going to see? There's part A to each of those 2, and what they should do to carry out the test. So there's a part B to each part, and write a word equation for the reaction. So there's a part C. Okay, so let's go through the answers. This side here, we're taking magnesium carbonate, adding it to sulfuric acid. Hopefully we're remembering these equations now. So it's going to be a magnesium sulfate is the salt, and then we get carbon dioxide produced because it's a carbonate, and then we get water because this reaction is a neutralization reaction. The general equation for this, just to help you, is the metal carbonate reacting with an acid to make a metal salt and carbon dioxide and water. And what we see happening here, so carbon dioxide forming, so we get bubbles starting to form. The magnesium carbonate, as it reacts, would get smaller and eventually disappear. If we take the bubbles and put it through lime water, then the lime water will turn cloudy. And I've put the general equation in as well. So just so you can see, we said if we get some help with this, describe what you would see. So we've got the bits we are going to see. Let's just change that to red so we can see it better. We've got the bits we're going to see. It then wanted us to identify the gases. We've identified the gases and put the equations in. So we've got all three parts to that one section. On this side, we have got magnesium now reacting with the acid. Again, because it's sulfuric acid, it's going to make a sulfate and hydrogen gas is going to be released. So I've got my equations, which was part C of my plan. I've got the general equation here as well. I've then described what I'm seeing happening. So I've got bubbles of gas forming. The magnesium would get smaller and again eventually disappear as it reacts. And then the final bit, part B, is describe the test for the gas. So you collect the gas, put a lighted splint, and the gas should burn with a squeaky pop. I think, oh, here we go. There are 12 bullet points. So use this table to work out how many points you have got. So each bullet point you score, give yourself 1 point, and then translate it into marks to add up out of 6. I think that's the end it is of that particular question.